How about them Cowboys? Angry Cowboys fan. Born to battle. Start on just means we never sell. America's team through thick and thin. When the star shines bright, that's where we win. Angry Cowboys fan.
What's going on, Cowboys Nation and Angry Cowboys fans around the world? Y'all know who it is. It's your man, the Angry Cowboys fan. And with the narrative of a tag and trade scenario with George Pickens, the Dallas Cowboys have to look at either the draft or free agency to fill George Pickens' shoes. Like I said in the previous video, Cowboys Nation begged for 2 years to get CeeDee Lamb help on the opposite side. If the Dallas Cowboys either allow him to walk or tag and trade him, what wide receiver could come to the Dallas Cowboys and contribute to the offense day one? So, Angry Cowboys fan family, I've taken a look at the 2026 free agent market, and these are the 5 wide receivers I would consider bringing to the Dallas Cowboys in the event of losing George Pickens this offseason. So let's dive into that a little bit more during this Raw and Uncut. Get ready for the Angry Cowboys fans, Raw and Uncut.
Man, keeping it real. They keep it real. That's real.
All right, Cowboys Nation, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I hate to bring a little bit of bad news to Cowboys Nation, but we have to look forward in George Pickens not being here since this whole tag and trade scenario has been brought to the table. And the first wide receiver that I would bring in for free agency, and this is no particular order, Romeo Doubs from the Green Bay Packers. Aside Christian Watson last year for the Green Bay Packers, Romeo Doubs was the Packers wide receiver too. His current age is 25 years old, but he will be 26 years old during the 2026 season. During the 2025 season, Romeo Doubs had 55 receptions for 724 yards, 13.2 yards per play, along with 6 touchdowns for the Green Bay Packers. According to the market value on SpotTrack.com, his current estimated value is at $12 million on the open market. But during the game against the Dallas Cowboys last year, Romeo Doubs had 6 receptions for 58 yards and 3 touchdowns. According to different metrics, Romeo Doubs is considered as a solid wide receiver 2 or wide receiver 3 option. Is he the type to moss a cornerback like George Pickens? No, Cowboys Nation, but he has a strong catch radius and has the physicality that Brian Schottenheimer wants for this Dallas Cowboys team. I'm not saying that this would be an equal fit to George Pickens, but it would be an option that's affordable for the Dallas Cowboys as well as a good fit for the Dallas Cowboys offense. Now, going into the second wide receiver that I would bring in lieu of George Pickens not being a Dallas Cowboy, Keenan Allen from the Los Angeles Chargers. A lot of Cowboys Nation was looking for the Dallas Cowboys to bring Keenan Allen to the team last year. There was a campaign going on social media by numerous Cowboys content creators to bring Allen to the Dallas Cowboys to help CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott with the offense. Being a year older, I believe he still has the abilities to come to the Dallas Cowboys and to take the pressure off of CeeDee Lamb while also being a legitimate threat of his own. During the 2025 season, Allen recorded 81 receptions for 777 yards and 4 touchdowns, better than what he was able to deliver the Chicago Bears the year prior. But with CeeDee Lamb, Ryan Flournoy, and Jake Ferguson, I feel that Keenan Allen could give the Dallas Cowboys a better output at the wide receiver 2 position, even at the ripe age of 34. His current market value on SpotTrack.com is $6.8 million. All right, jumping into the third wide receiver, Mike Evans from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Mike Evans has been a beast for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers ever since the Buccaneers got him back in 2015. From 2015 until this year, Mike Evans has had 1,000-yard seasons. In 2025, his production kind of dipped to 368 yards with 3 touchdowns off of 30 receptions. This was due to him breaking his collarbone in Week 7 against the Detroit Lions. But being 6'5", Mike Evans is considered a natural go-getter, winning at contested catches, fade balls, jump balls, and also capable of winning double teams from opposing defenses. His current market value is estimated at $13.3 million, making him another affordable acquisition for the Dallas Cowboys if they decide to move in that direction. The fourth wide receiver that I would bring in the case of George Pickens not being here next year is Wandel Robinson from the New York Football Giants. Picking up a talented wide receiver from an NFC East rival would be in the cards for the Dallas Cowboys. Seeing that the Giants picked up Chauncey Golston from the Dallas Cowboys in 2025, we could absolutely return the favor by taking their wide receiver 2 in Wandel Robinson. Since Malik Neighbors became a New York Football Giant in 2024, Wandel Robinson has been a solid wide receiver 2 in said tandem. If brought to the Dallas Cowboys, Robinson would know his role as a wide receiver 2 and his place as a Dallas Cowboy. He does have an injury history, though, Cowboys Nation. An injury history with a torn ACL back in 2022, but established himself as a reliable target in 2024 and 2025. He can be dangerous at the slot position, but also has the ability to play inside and outside the numbers. He's able to take over at the wide receiver 1 position in case there's an injury for the Dallas Cowboys and has a high football IQ. In 2025, Wandel Robinson played 16 games with 92 receptions for 1,014 yards and 4 touchdowns. 142 yards of that came during the Week 2 loss to our Dallas Cowboys. If the Cowboys were able to acquire Wandel Robinson, he would be a day 1 impact for the Dallas Cowboys and would command attention from opposing defensive backs. With the market value set at $17.6 million, he would save a lot of money for the Dallas Cowboys, opposed to spending $36 to $37 million on George Pickens, leaving money to focus on the defensive side of the ball. And the last wide receiver that I would consider bringing to the Dallas Cowboys in the event of losing George Pickens during free agency is the man that CeeDee Lamb admired and looked up to as a wide receiver in college, and that's DeAndre Hopkins from the Baltimore Ravens. Sure, DeAndre Hopkins would be on the other side of the hill when it comes to football age, but he's still considered a threat to opposing defenses, Cowboys Nation. Being 34 during the 2026 NFL regular season, DeAndre Hopkins could still have a lot to offer an NFL team that chooses to acquire him through free agency. This would see someone like Ryan Flournoy become the wide receiver 2 for the Dallas Cowboys, while having DeAndre Hopkins share the wide receiver 3 role with someone like Jonathan Mingo or Cavante Turpin. With his market value estimated at $1.4 million, the Dallas Cowboys could use the rest of those cap dollars to bring in top-tier defensive players to help flesh out the defensive side of the ball. It would also allow them to focus on the 2026 NFL Draft to fortify the defense while also not having to worry about picking up another wide receiver during said draft. But the Dallas Cowboys could also find a talented pass rusher in free agency, leaving one of those first-round draft picks to use on an offensive weapon like running back Jeremiah Love from Notre Dame, or wide receiver in Carnell Tate from Ohio State, Jordan Tyson from Arizona State, Mekhi Lemon from USC, or Denzel Boston from Washington. But one thing I don't want the Dallas Cowboys to do is to make the offense worse in their attempts to make the defense better. Like I said before, I feel the scheme was a huge reason why the Dallas Cowboys defense looked inept last year. With the hiring of Christian Parker and the staff that he's putting together, I feel like the Dallas Cowboys defense will be better than last year, meaning they're not far off from correcting this defense to help place our team back in contention. But whatever Jerry and Stephen Jones decide to do, make sure that it's moves that's above board. You know what I'm saying, Cowboys Nation? I don't want them losing George Pickens because they decide to try and negotiate with him under the table without his representation being present. I don't want them losing George Pickens for something they did wrong, Cowboys Nation. If he wants to chase the money, there has to be a number that the Dallas Cowboys aren't willing to go past. And if a team does go past the number that the Cowboys aren't willing to spend, we have to have a backup plan. Cowboys Nation knows that I am a stickler. I am a fond believer on not making reactionary decisions, and the Dallas Cowboys have made reactionary decisions for decades. So be prepared for both options. Be prepared for George Pickens to stay a Dallas Cowboy, but also be prepared for him to want to follow the money and get the biggest bag possible. Something that his co-agent, David Mulugeta, loves to shoot for. But this has been your man, the Angry Cowboys Fan. Cowboys Nation, who would you consider to be a replacement for George Pickens if the Dallas Cowboys can't get him to sign a long-term deal or want to tag and trade him? Would you even look toward free agency, or would you try to replace him through the 2026 NFL Draft? Y'all know how we do. We always talk about it in the comment section. If you're digging this content and you want to help the channel reach its current goal of 20,000 subscribers, drop a like on this video, share this content with anybody that you know is a Dallas Cowboys fan, and if you're on your mobile device and you haven't used them up yet, make sure you hype this video. Doing so will help get this content out to even more Dallas Cowboys fans. They'll come over to the Angry Cowboys Fan YouTube channel and want to become Angry Cowboys fans themselves. And if you are DC for life and you want the Dallas Cowboys to get the deal done with George Pickens, but you got a plan B just in case they don't, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell to be notified whenever I go live, release a video, podcast episode, or film breakdowns. You can catch the Madden 26 or College Football 26 gameplay on my other channel, the Angry Cowboys Fan Gaming Channel. I'll make sure I put the link to that as well as my gamer tag in the description. But don't shoot the messenger, Cowboys Nation. I don't want you to get caught out there if the Dallas Cowboys decide to will and deal George Pickens before the 2026 NFL Draft. As much as I want the Dallas Cowboys to extend George Pickens, is as much as I realize that it's not up to me, Cowboys Nation. So let's have a plan B so that we don't have to go into the 2026 season making more reactionary decisions. But this has been your man, the Angry Cowboys Fan. I love you guys. And I'm out. Dang, Angry Cowboys Fan, you done made it through the entire video. But if you want more content, you can definitely go to this video right here. Or if you want the latest episode of the Angry Cowboys Fan podcast, you can go right here. But whatever you do, like, share, and subscribe to the channel, but remain DC for life.